So we are joined here by Nicole from Solly Baby. We wanted to talk a little bit about the story of our partnership and some of the amazing things that have come from one of the great balanced client relationships I've seen in the years, where there's so much coming from both sides. And I think that's a wonderful thing to take away from today. How to be a good partner as a client, how to be a good partner as the agency, and what that does when you work really well together. I'm not going to have much to present today, um, but I'm Nick Rajbaum, the VP of Strategy here. I joined 16 years ago, coming up this Monday. Uh, and when I joined Agile, we were a project-based business, and I was brought on to develop our marketing solutions and turn us into a marketing agency. I launched our SEO, Google Ads, conversion, email, and Amazon services, built out our X factors and our processes, and hired a team and built it from about 6 employees to about 30. Those are still our core services, but we've expanded to 15 services over time. And now with the quagmire of managing so many different channels, I now lead a different department called the strategy department, whose main focus is concerning the channel agnostic holistic sciences, which we'll talk about quite a bit. And we're about the 420 webinar mark right now with this webinar. We have one every 2 weeks, and we've only done 3 client webinars. So this is really exciting for me.
Awesome. And my name's Megan. I'm managing partner here at Agile. Unlike Nick, I don't have quite the tenure, but I've been here coming up on 6 years now. I started off as an onboarding specialist back in 2018, started working with my own clients, and now I have the pleasure of working with quite a few clients that I've worked with for years now, along with supporting a team that manages some of our greatest clients. So it's a pleasure to be here today and to chat through our awesome partnership with Solly. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce Nicole Newhouse.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here on the webinar presenting with Megan. It's been such a wonderful partnership so far, which I'm happy to go into, but just a little bit of my background. I've been in the CPG space for about 20 years, spending most of my time with wellness, beauty, and lifestyle brands, and kind of came up in Honest, as Honest was really kind of coming onto the scene, and was there on the baby side, but really helped to launch the Honest Beauty business globally, and really expand a lot of the SKUs there. Worked on the retail side with Target, and again from a wellness side, CrossFit and Equilibria, which is a women's health organization. So it's great to be here at Solly Baby. I'm a mom of a 2.5-year-old daughter, so this is really the perfect space for me to be in. And I can give a little bit of a background on Solly Baby as a whole. Solly Baby is a leading baby wrap carrier company, and we really are known for the softness of the fabrics that we use. We use 100% Tencel Modal, which is sustainable, biodegradable fabric. We also have crib sheets and swaddles and some of the other baby necessities that we kind of have within our portfolio. But the company has been around for 12 years, and we've really seen some sustainable growth, and I think really found a little bit of magic with Agile last year, as we unlocked a whole new level of growth that we were kind of not anticipating. And I think as I get into the engagement and the partnership that we've had here, I joined Solly last May, and saw some of the incredible efficiencies that the paid media side was experiencing, and pretty much came in and said, Megan, let's reforecast, let's go big. I think we can really blow this out of the water. And within my first 2 months, I think, Megan, we reforecasted everything and kind of looked at how do we add on an additional 2-3x million for revenue for the business in the year. So I think with that introduction, very excited to kind of chat through strategy with you guys and how Megan and I truly partnered together for the success that we saw last year.
And like Nicole said, we were already highly efficient with acquisition. The Solly Baby product is one that is already a market leader and is so high quality, like Nicole mentioned. We were already acquiring new customers at a really efficient rate. The goal wasn't necessarily to decrease our CPA and get more efficient. Nicole came in and gave the directive, let's scale. Let's grow this thing. We have a ton of operational efficiency already. We're ready to go. And so Sally Baby partnered with Agile for SEO efforts as well as paid media across Google, Microsoft, and Meta. And really our primary goal is to increase our new customer acquisition. And we have a KPI we use that is our CPA to CLV ratio, which is our customer acquisition cost in relation to our customer lifetime value. So everything we do ladders up to acquiring more new customers at that same rate and just seeing how far we can go. So Sally has a really robust digital marketing program, both with Agile and also internally. And it's really that collaboration that we'll talk through today of how our teams work so tightly knit together that's driven these incredible KPIs you see in front of you. So over the last 12 months, we've seen nearly a 54% increase in net new customers, while CLV remained relatively flat. CPA actually declined by about 15%, and we saw a 46% increase in total revenue. So jumping into our overall ongoing engagement, I can hand things over to Nick to talk through our virtuous activity cycle and how our engagement relates to the Agile framework and strategy.
Yes, as stated earlier, the number of channels that you can invest in continues to increase, and trying to stay in front of your potential customers means getting into some channels that you probably have not worked with in the past. Also, reimagining the channels as they change. Google used to just be for search, and now you can use it for awareness, really good for remarketing, and there's new avenues for advocacy. So what we've been doing as a team to make sure that our strategy team can set goals, our service side can execute, or we can report in a clean way, we've started organizing our strategies in 5 different areas. One, which doesn't get a lot of love, but it's very important, asking past customers for likes, shares, and reviews. That's advocacy. Any other focus on past customers is seen as loyalty, trying to get as many sales as possible. Conversion is focusing on past engagers until they finally convert for the first time. And then there's the top of funnel. Consideration is when someone is actually looking for your category and you show up in search. And if you know signals to look for where someone has not shown intent yet, but they're probably a good buyer, that's awareness. If we get these 5 disciplines, these 5 areas of activity to get bigger and brighter, they will start to spin a virtuous cycle of growth. So we start to ask ourselves questions on what is the right balance between these 5 to have, low MER, high growth, or where do we focus for higher net new customers? These are the type of things we're going to ask throughout this presentation. We're going to keep coming back to the virtuous activity cycle and contemplate it from that perspective. And you can start thinking about your business from that perspective as well that way.
And like Nick mentioned, there's quite a few different services that we work on with Sally, but the rest of the virtuous activity cycle is in the internal Sally team's hands. So there's so much collaboration happening between the Agile team managing organic search, paid social, paid search, product ads, and Performance Max, as well as managing feeds to Google, Microsoft, and Meta. And of course, we have our insights and reporting platform. All of this is then supported by an outstanding advocacy program at the Sally team, with influencer marketing, partnerships, affiliate, and overall just amplifying the brand through those that already love Sally. And so the Sally team has done an excellent job of managing that internally, and that in turn fuels our awareness efforts through paid media on Meta. We just launched onto Pinterest, working through a new acquisition channel there. And so that cycle of Sally's customer journey also plays into the cycle of us working together, sharing creative, using partnerships and product launches to in turn generate advocacy and in turn more awareness, consideration, and conversion.
Awesome. And one of the things that we try to ask ourselves, we have 4 methodologies that help bring the virtuous activity cycle to life. Our first methodology is the competitive methodology. We're asking ourselves, where do we need to be the most competitive? And in the baby wrap market, this is a market that at one point was not established, but it is established now. People know the concept. They are looking for differentiators. They are going to look for the tensile modal fabric. and they want to make sure that they buy the right thing at the right price, but they stay focused. So there's certain factors that we look at to see if a business falls into a search-based journey category or brand-based. Now, Sally Baby falls into a search-based, and let's walk through what that means and what that implies. First, people are looking for baby wraps all the time. Demand is manifesting itself in that category constantly. People think, you know what? I probably would find some good selection if I went to Google or Amazon. Let me check what they have. So they start their search and they raise their hand. We can see that they're raising their hand at that moment. They do want to look at selection because they don't know all the brands on the market. They want to see what's available, and they're persuaded by value propositions, images, videos, reviews, user-generated content, discounts. And they stay focused on that categorical purchase until the purchase is made. Roughly 70% of businesses fall in the search-based journey. And the consequence of identifying this means we must dominate in consideration. When someone searches and raises their hand, we must show up. And then conversion to differentiate and get the sale. And if these things did not relate to the business, if instead people were not searching for it because they didn't even know what to call it, they have an extreme brand bias, like buying a car, you wouldn't buy a car from a brand you've never heard of. It's a very tiny niche, so we have to go find people like B2B, or it's a lifestyle category that's more impulse. Then it would have been a brand-based journey. Roughly 70% typically, like I said, falls into search-based. We're going to go ahead and launch the poll with everyone here. Hopefully you can think this through a little bit and see what your thoughts are. Do you think that you're in an established category where people stay focused on that? If you show up, differentiate, convince, you'd get a lot of sales? Or do you have to go out there and kind of build demand, or build brand bias in a brand biased area, or build impulse purchases? That would all be leading towards a brand-based journey. Feel free to say you want to figure it out, but you're stuck on a detail. That's totally understandable. But we're going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is interesting. You know, overwhelmingly stronger on the search-based side than usual. We've run this poll on at least 15 webinars, and we're typically in the 65 to 75% range for search-based. Something about this webinar appealed more to search-based buyers, our businesses, and that's great to see. But nice to have that in your head. Virtually all your decisions of what to invest in and what not to invest in cascade from making that first move correct.
Awesome. And so talking through our social solution, something that Nicole and I worked on very early on in our partnership was how we should be talking to moms. And on social, we shifted our messaging strategy actually right before Nicole joined, and continued to make optimizations and shifts from December 2022 into January 2023. Our previous advertising was really talking at moms about Solly, instead of talking to moms about why Solly is the best option for them. And that shift in messaging of talking to your customer instead of at your customer about the product really made a big difference in our overall increases in efficiency on meta ads. We didn't really increase spend last year. We really tried to find areas of increased demand within the investment that we had. And so what we did see with that shift in messaging was an 800% increase in revenue, while increasing cold audience spend about 25%, and a 10x increase in cold audience revenue. And so I do want to let Nicole speak a little bit further around some of those messaging discoveries and how we were able to work that into our advertising, creative, copy, and messaging.
Absolutely. And I think that the messaging is really key here, because I think that even as we tested internally at Solly, it's just really continuing to drive home why Solly Baby is truly a newborn essential. It is a must-have for these moms, especially in the newborn phase of life. And I think that there's excitement that we can continue to draw with the new collections that we have, the new colorways that we launch, but truly the thread line of what is very important at Solly, and I think what we really unlocked with Megan is just that this is a newborn essential. How do we continue to drive home the points of differentiation of the Solly wrap, but also the product benefits that go beyond just what the wrap offers, but it's that, I mean, our slogan is happy baby, free hands, full heart. And I think, like, how do we lean into that even further to say, as a mom, everything could just be feeling like chaos. It could feel like overwhelm, but these are kind of the product benefits that you can see. And just like Megan said, not talking at mom, but talking to her, understanding her pain points and really elevating those to kind of to the top of messaging hierarchy to make sure that they really understood the benefit of what Solly Baby could really bring to them. So I think that that was really important. And I think also from an audience standpoint, we really wanted to make sure that we kind of expanded the age range. I think that was one of the first things that Megan and I did. I said, Gen Z moms, they're having kids at this point. I think we need to start talking to them. But then there's kind of this gap from 45 to 55 when parents are kind of in that teenage phase. They don't have anyone who's a new baby around them, but then it picks back up as they become grandparents. So we really kind of expanded the age range that we were talking to as well, because there is a wide expanse of people that could be searching for Solly Baby, either for their own personal use or for gifting as well.
Definitely. And one of the things that was the most impactful with that shift is let's let our moms talk to other moms about Solly. Let's not just talk to our own moms. Let's not have the marketing team show, but let's let our customers show how much they love the product. Let's let the press show how much they love Solly. And so something that we noticed was that our customer and new moms are social. They want reinforcement. They want to know that this is the best choice for baby and for them. And they want to truly understand what the brand has done to earn its trust in the industry and earn its market share. And so using our own content from existing customers and letting moms talk about Solly and using that content to talk to new moms has been one of the most successful tactics we've been able to employ together. And this is, again, just a testament to the close partnership we have with the Solly team of sharing new press logos. When they win a Glamour Award, we're in the loop and we're working on adding that into our advertising. The Solly team is actively connecting with their customer base, building a community of their existing customers. And so without having that community and talking to moms in a way that benefits them directly, there would be none of this content that we could use to in turn generate awareness from advocacy. So Nicole, I can hand things over to you if you want to chat through a little bit more of what the program looks like on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, having these winning combinations on paid media only just becomes even more amplified with all of the other efforts that we have kind of from a 360 standpoint with ecom, with email. We want to make sure that all of those optimizations that we've been working on really help to convert, because this could be a winning combination, but if we are not optimized on our website, how can we truly manage that conversion? And so we've worked really diligently on the internal side to really ensure that all of the traffic that the paid media is sending, we have these moms with super high intent. They come to the website and then we make it easier for them to be able to actually convert and finish their journey with us from, you know, acquisition standpoint. And so with an email, then that's really just kind of continuing to nurture them, sharing with them the newness that comes from Solly Baby of new collections, new partnerships, new colorways. And it really just continues to pull them through the funnel and make it a very cohesive brand journey experience for them.
And another element of our paid media strategy involved a lot of testing. So we have so many colorways, so many products, and so many winning combinations that we could find. But the way that we found that was through a lot of ad type testing. So we tested from a variety of formats, including static images. That anything but basic static was a top performing evergreen ad for us for quite some time. As someone who wears a lot of black, that was a great idea born from our internal team that was running for quite some time. We turn that into a collection ad format. What if we show black, then also show that we have quite a few other colorways and show that to mom as she's scrolling through. So testing that into a collection ad format actually only amplified the performance of that graphic. Testing video and GIFs, UGC, using overlays on some of our dynamic product ads as we're doing a free shipping promo, showing that everything that you see there in a product ad is on sale. So a lot of that ad type testing is something that consistently elevated our paid social strategy and was one of the biggest reasons why those KPIs on the first couple slides were there, right? We didn't spend any more, but we were able to drive 10x the revenue from cold audiences with a consistent flow of new creative and an open mind to testing across all of the different ad formats on Meta.
And one other thing, Megan, on that one too, from the different ad testing that we've been recently doing, and actually we did starting last summer and fall, was really testing UGC videos, which also became a really top format for us, which of course UGC is so wonderful, basically any platform that you use it on, but we found that wrap tutorials as a UGC really did well. Wrap as a lifestyle UGC video also did very well. And so I think that it's really, like you said, a combination and the willingness for us to really test out and see, okay, what's going to resonate with our customer? And I think sometimes it's even just updates to copy that make a difference too.
Totally. And the Sally team took this one step further with, instead of just using UGC, what if we partner with our existing customers and create new products? What if they help inform our design and we do collaborative launches with our partners, our content creators? And so that's been one of the biggest drivers of new customer acquisition and even repeat purchase for Sally over the last 12 months is collaborator launches. So collaborating with designers to help produce beautiful new prints like this Liberty launch you have here, or partnering with influencer content creator partners who are already Sally fans and are already posting about Sally that may have an audience that is looking for a specific print, or seasonal moments like around the Barbie movie launching our iconic pink wrap. That was a big seller for us just around that moment. So in combination with the Sally team's really intentional moments and launches and producing new colorways and consistently introducing newness, that was a great way for us to be able to consistently test our evergreen, but also start to test new formats within these product launches so we can quickly find winners and then run the ad that works best for that new collection launch. Nicole, anything you want to add there before we jump into how this fits into the overall strategy?
No, I do think that this was really kind of a big unlock was the partnerships that we did. Again, these were leading kind of influencer partners that had a ton of clout in the conversion space, for, working and operating as an affiliate. And so having these design collaborations, but genuinely, I feel like one of the biggest successes was tapping into cultural moments. So like you mentioned, the Barbie movie, and then just quickly launching Iconic Pink and just making it something that felt very relevant to the surround sound that all of the customers were hearing, seeing the success of our fern checker, but saying, let's take this and turn it into a retro vibe. Let's do a retro black checker and have something that felt very familiar to us 80s and 90s kids with the Vans shoes and everything. So I think it's taking a lot of cultural relevance and bringing that into Sally, but doing it with, the elevated Sally premium style that we are really known for. And then having these partnerships that continue to drive a ton of new traffic to our website, but also really encourage repeat purchase because they're going to be essentially the top of the pyramid when it comes to word of mouth marketing. And so they're really going to be really convincing and sharing with their audience from a factor of trust that you need this wrap and this is why this is the best one for you and your family.
Awesome. Yeah, and I personally love diving into the data behind the social strategy and how it was organized around the VAC. There are certain campaigns that were tagged and separated as consideration, others focused on past visitors and engagers to convince them to finish their purchase, and others for loyalty, where there's a very short period of time where you can get past customers to buy again, which we'll talk about quite a bit. But the consideration side, there were an abundance of signals available to kind of point towards these groups on Facebook and Instagram and get the right message out. The conversion side, of course, was phenomenal response, and loyalty had a return almost as strong as conversion. So focused on getting that second purchase was a big part of this.
And moving into our SEO approach, so complemented by our social strategy driving demand and the Solly team driving demand through partnerships, we made sure that we were first on the search engine results page for any target term. And the Solly strategy is an interesting one because, like Nick said in the beginning, it's a search-based journey. We're really focused on non-branded terms. A new mom is looking for solutions. She's not looking for a brand just yet. So we really utilize SEO content as well as technical SEO. The site's in great technical standing, so making sure we do some tune-ups to implement more relevant keywords on the site. We worked hand in hand with the Solly team here to make sure that product descriptions, category pages were optimized, as well as not only increasing page 1 ranking keywords, but also growing Solly's overall keyword universe at the same time. So we should be focused not only on just best baby wrap, but a lot of those long tail search terms that other sites may overlook that we can rank first for. So Nicole, before I jump into some of the results here, I can hand things over to you to add any color.
Absolutely. And I think that with the optimized content from an SEO standpoint, it works hand in hand with the organic content strategy that we had internally at Solly. I'm a big content marketing believer, and I know that when moms are looking for the best baby wrap, I think it's also going to be equally as convincing to read blog posts, to read listicles that share why this mom of 5 chose the Solly baby wrap, or why this was the top registered item that I put on my baby registry. So I do think some of those types of content pieces that we have really kind of amplified internally, we have really kind of kicked it up and had a more robust output of blog content, because I just want it to be something that continues to work hand in hand with this SEO optimization that is currently being done. So I would say that the own blog content that we have been doing, like I said, we've really kind of increased the frequency of what we're posting, really kind of looked at what the Agile team sent over to us as top keywords, and then created content based on what they were recommending for us to write on. But then personally, I've also been doing ghostwriting and some backlink PR articles that come back and link to Solly Baby, which I also think will help to drive traffic and more of that the search optimization.
Absolutely. And the results of that, both SEO optimized content on revenue driving pages, as well as the coordinated blog strategy, not only increased total keywords, but page 1 keywords have seen a really remarkable improvement. So you can see in that top screenshot there, we just have positions in the top 3, 4 through 10, and 11 through 20. And so that yellow and the dark blue are page 1 keywords. So we started working with Solly back in June of 2022 on their SEO strategy, and you can see just the consistent growth over time as we implemented more new content, as we worked with the team hand in hand on the blogs. And you can see really when Nicole started to take over in January 2023 is when those 11 through 20 really started to accelerate. And so that's where that blog content, some of the new content there starts to come in. And so if we jump to the next slide here, I'll talk through some of the organic growth that we saw. And so over the last 12 months, not only have we increased the total keyword universe, but we've moved up 2 search rankings on average across all of our total keywords, which when you've seen a 7x in impressions year over year, that increase in search ranking is pretty remarkable. And that has translated to a really great increase in clicks compared to the prior year. So year over year, 2023 to 2022 was a big year for SEO. And despite spending more in paid search, despite spending more in Google Shopping and having more demand gen efforts, a lot of these ranking improvements and increases in position were driven by that SEO optimized content. And like Nicole mentioned, a big piece of that was partnering with the team at Solly to recommend new blog topics based on search interests. One of the top terms we saw for quite a while was reticency. And that means the closeness between mom and baby. And that was generated from a blog written by the Solly team. So a lot of that close partnership is driven by the blog content, which is a big focus of awareness for SEO. Like Nicole mentioned, if a mom is doing research, she's going to land on the blog, read through content, understand. That awareness journey doesn't start on the product page. So making sure that the site as a whole is optimized for SEO and it carries a lot of those long tail keywords is really important for bringing in net new customers through organic. Before we jump into how that fits into the strategy, Nicole, anything you wanted to add there?
I don't think so. I really do, like I said, think that the content piece has really been super key for us, and really looking at the SEO growth and the top keyword growth. I know that that had such a huge impact on the way that paid search even operated for us. And so really hand in hand as a cycle together, just all things rising together really led to great success. And it's just something that I know that we'll continue to work on and optimize, is just how do we continue to improve kind of all of the different parts of this virtuous activity cycle.
Awesome. Yeah. So just organizing that a little bit, the blog content, supporting the right keywords there, that's typically kind of pre-categorical interest. It's more, I know my problems. I'm not sure I understand the solutions yet so much. On the consideration side, a much greater focus on categorical phrases plus qualifiers, including qualifiers like the best. And then on the conversion side, making sure that if someone does know the product or does search for Solly Baby or Solly Baby plus something like reviews, that we capture that moment and we don't let it slip through, because someone else can capture it and take it from us. So and there's a question on the SEO side. I can quickly answer it. I think we have SEMrush as a tool. We also have built kind of a API based call system in SEMrush, where we can take all the keywords that a website like Solly Baby ranks for, create a queue of competitors, and check all the keywords that the competitors rank for that are in the same vein to expand the universe and to develop a long tail. We'll soon be adopting one of our in the Agile business. One of the acquisitions that we made is a business called GoFish, and one of their tools allows us to use AI generation to create more blog topics. So the blog content and the keyword side coming in from multiple sources is starting to evolve on that side, which is very exciting.
Thanks, Nick. And yeah, one of the things that our specialists do really well is, I'll just grab the slides here, is making sure that they're both in Search Console, Google Ads Keyword Planner, and SEMrush. So both our SEO specialists and Google Ads specialists are sharing keyword data. Our Google Ads specialists are saying, hey, I'm seeing a keyword perform really well over here for non-brand. It's highly competitive. CPCs are high. How are we optimized for this on SEO? If we're not, what can we do to better be optimized here? So that's a strategy that's really made sure that our investment is working twice as hard, because if we have the #1 ad rank and the #1 organic rank, we're twice as likely to get the click. So jumping into our paid search and product ad strategy, it closely aligns with our SEO strategy here. So you'll see, and like Nicole mentioned, first-time moms aren't searching for brands, they're searching for solutions. So you can see in this screenshot here, best baby wrap. What's the safest baby wrap? Is the baby wrap safe for my 6-month-old baby? Is there a weight limit for baby wraps? What about a baby wrap versus a baby sling? What are the differences there? What's the best type of baby carrier? So all of these questions are really important searches that do have intent behind them, right? You have intent if you're searching one of these terms. And so on Google and Microsoft, we really scaled our non-brand targeting. That was the biggest focus of our increase in investment here, and ensured we had really top tier impression share on those target must-win terms to own more of the SERP. And so Nicole, I can hand things over to you if you have any color to add here on search terms.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that with the paid search terms, it's really just a continuous iteration to see what's working, what are moms really resonating with, moms and all shoppers, and how do we continue to find what those keywords were. One that we found last, I guess, late summer, early fall was lightweight. Best lightweight baby wrap. And because we were reading through all of the reviews, they had bought competitive brands and said Solly was superior because it was so lightweight. It didn't really cause a lot of the heat trapping and sweating and some of the other things that other carriers did. And so I really think that it's, like I said, it's continuous iteration to really understand what's resonating with these shoppers as they're continuing to search and purchase. And I think, like I mentioned earlier in the call, the newborn must-haves, that's been something that we had tested. We just, from the social side of things, actually had a video go mega viral. I think it's at 29 million views or something like that. And our social tags were newborn essentials, newborn must-haves. We quickly flipped that over to Megan and turned that into a paid ad that is really taking off for us. And we're really leveraging those keywords across paid search and also onto our own e-com and email. And so I think that's where it really becomes this holistic strategy where we take learnings from Agile, apply them internally. And the same thing, if we find something working internally, we flip that back over to Megan and her team at Agile, because it's really, again, this very collaborative partnership. So I would say, just from a paid search term, that the non-brand, of course, is working really well, but how do we add some of these adjectives and clarifying terms to really capture more high intent purchasers?
Awesome. Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, there are really just the key things on the search and shopping sides that we found. We're trying to iterate and test. So what new trends are we seeing emerge on SEO? What new trends are we seeing on organic social that we can add new assets to our Performance Max campaigns to fuel them? How can we add new search term topics or insights to our search campaigns to help them grow? And so Google Ads over the last year, while we kept spend steady on social and worked on efficiency and growth there, the goal on Google was really to scale. So we increased our ad spend about 20% year over year, and that caused about a 24% increase in revenue. Again, already efficient there. The goal is just more new customers. And we did that primarily through non-brand acquisition and making sure that our impression share on top terms and branded terms remained quite high.
Yep. And I think one thing that in the principles of like Goldilocks ratios between like how consideration performs versus conversion and loyalty, as consideration kept scaling, conversion and loyalty had to overperform a little bit, and that created a nice balance. So as long as conversion and loyalty got tighter and tighter with better returns, consideration could open up a tiny bit and take a little bit of a hit on efficiency that would be capitalized later. And using these levers the right way allows for this much scale. So hopefully that helps.
And Nick, I can hand it over to you and we can
Yeah.
chat through how we run through the customer lifetime value report and the goal setting there.
Yeah, so over the past few years, we've been working on not just pulling in customer lifetime value into reports, but finding the right ways to organize it, developing a rubric, a growth target matrix to figure out when you have a customer lifetime value, how do you use that data correctly? And there were some successes that were early on that even guided us on how to develop these rubrics. So I remember looking back into the data of users for our customer lifetime value report and seeing Nicole and her name popping up as one of our top power users. And that happened around May 2023. And that's when Megan and Nicole were both talking about what is the customer lifetime value, observing some trends about how customer lifetime value matures for a few months, but then kind of tails off. And what that means about, well, if our buyers can only be buyers for like 6 months, then we need to keep getting new buyers. We need to keep feeding this. In fact, you get a sale today, new customer, that's 6 months of business. And if you don't, then in 6 months, there's going to be trouble. And when we started to work this through as well in defining swim lanes for all of our clients, we started to establish a practice of repeat windows. And Solly Baby actually helped us quite a bit because we identified Solly Baby as the short repeat window, the most like perfect quintessential case for that. So here's how it generally works. People buy from you first time, and then they keep buying. And eventually there will be this point where they stop buying, and you have a customer lifetime value, the total amount that they bought from you. In some cases, that could take years to mature. And lots of purchases made over years, that's a high repeat potential. It would take well over 6 months until you've realized at least 80% of the customer lifetime value of that customer. In other cases, someone buys and they've already met pretty much their entire customer lifetime value on the first purchase, meaning they're not going to get much more from them. Solly Baby is more classic of people who age into a particular type of repeat buying system. So within about 6 months, you hit that 80% customer lifetime value. When you recognize that, here's what you come away with. First, you must get new customers always. Right? If you have a lull today in April, by October, that's going to continue to hit. And you only have 6 months to break even. So you have to make sure that you capitalize on the customer. Your loyalty marketing on the VAC is very tight and focused. So I won't go through all the numbers here, but the main takeaway is that there was almost a 100% increase in net new customers by focusing on organizing the data the right way, observing net new customers, knowing what their value is, and trying to have a concerted effort on that side. The nice thing about this is when you say, I'm going to put more dollars towards net new customers, you also have to like cross your fingers and close your eyes and pray to everyone, hoping that your efficiency doesn't get blown. In this case, the cost per acquisition actually decreased by 15%. Because you can organize your awareness, consideration, and conversion, and organize the total there divided by customers acquired, you can carefully calibrate how these three parts of the VAC on paid media and owned media all conspire together to create efficiencies on cost per acquisition. Now, the interesting thing is this touches everything, right? So the miracle of life is happening every moment. So with awareness, there are data indicators, inferred data points that tell us someone's about to have a baby or they just did, or someone just became a grandparent. So it's easy to start seeding a little bit of the awareness. You obviously, in a search phase journey, want to maximize your broad shoulder visibility for all the consideration keywords to keep logging in the most number of that traffic. And you only have up to 6 months to convert someone who started their engagement to become a customer. If it's taken 6 months to become a customer, they're not even a potential customer anymore. But when they become a customer, your loyalty cycle has to be short, redundant, diverse, and well punctuated. Now, the interesting thing is, while the buying journey only lasts roughly 6 months, the advocacy journey, that has a long arm that could last 2 or 3 years. So the long arm of advocacy starts to influence awareness, consideration, conversion, and spin this virtuous activity cycle far longer than any other single component. Nicole, I know you brought this up as well in our conversation. We're about to go to questions. Any final thoughts on that side?
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like it's such a unique aspect of our brand, and one that we've really kind of been able to mine from all of the community work that our social team does. And it's just, we see that these moms stick around as fans and advocates of our brand for years, even after they're done having children. And then they are the #1 refers to other moms, other parents. You need to get a Solly Baby wrap. It's a must have for you. And again, that then fuels the awareness cycle. So it's truly almost a self-run cycle that a lot of our moms and advocates really can do for us. And it really helps to do that. And I think from an LTV standpoint, one thing that Megan and I really worked on was, I love how you saw that I was a power user of the CLV report, but kind of setting a new benchmark of a 4-to-1 LTV to CAC ratio to say this is truly where we can find profitability in each new customer that we're going to be able to do. We know that we don't have a long time to really engage with them post-purchase, and we found that the magic window is about 45 days after initial purchase. They're most willing to come and make a second purchase with us. And so from that point on, you know, it's how do we continue to build this loyalty and advocacy with them and encourage them to share the word of mouth of Solly to then again fuel the awareness. So it's a really unique kind of cycle, I think, at Solly that we've been able to monitor, and it's a great thing for us because again, having all of these advocates that can continually turn new new friends, new moms into purchasers of Solly. It's just like you said, continuously filling our acquisition funnel, which then internally we can work to build out loyalty with them.
It's amazing. I know people are gonna want their questions answered before they have to hop to other calls. I just want to highlight the type of conversations that we've been having with Nicole are lessons for us, and they've helped us create stronger strategies. So Nicole, thank you for being one of those clients that has helped us kind of look at ourselves in a bigger way as well. To that point, when we work with a client, before they come on as a client, we do this process called a growth opportunity. We already start to think about what virtuous activity cycle areas should you focus on. We go through looking at you versus several of your competitors to define whether you're a search-based journey or brand-based, or which channels have the most proof of concept. When you come on as a client, and then we can start to evolve that using the competitive methodology to further your search or brand base. For 82% of you, it would be search. We use other methodologies like our performance methodology to use the customer lifetime value report and set CLV to CPA targets or CLV to CAC targets, as well as what our net new customer goals are. And there are two other methodologies that bring marketing efficiency ratio and segmentation and messaging to life. But we offer the growth opportunity, this plan, at no cost. It is a process I would do personally for you. So if you raise your hand for this, it is free. We will have someone reach out to you, learn a little bit about your business, and then loop me in. And I'll start working with my team to do a ton of analysis on what VAC distribution you should look at, which channels should be in your media mix, which ones should not, how much of a balance we have on repeat versus net new customers, etc. If you have a depth of data or investment that you've put into Google Ads, SEO, email, Amazon, TikTok, I'll bring in someone else from the team to get access and go deeper. We don't charge for any of this. This is for us to figure out the perfect plan. And when you say go, we can actually execute against that plan. So I'm going to close this in 3, 2, 1. And yeah, if you guys need more information, please just click that and we'll reach out. But let's see if there's any more questions. I know we covered a lot. So feel free to ask questions to Megan, Nicole.
I see a question here from Lauren, marketing activities using retail media networks. Solly Baby is currently only DTC, and then we are on Babylist, which is a well-known baby registry website with some smaller boutique options. So we actually don't partner with any retailers right now that have very large retail media networks, but we do partner with some activities with Babylist. They do have their kind of own media activities that we can participate in. So we do, but it really is a small portion of the paid media that we do right now, since we are not on any of these major retailers.
Awesome. And I know we answered Arpana's question earlier. There are a few questions about getting copies of the slides and the presentation. Hopefully this helped folks kind of see yourselves in a different light and your potential. Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time to present with us and for being such a great partner. And Megan, thank you for showing so much leadership from our team on this particular partnership. And and so many more. So thank you folks for spending some time with us on a Wednesday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.